So in the previous lecture, we understood the history of large language model, right? But why do you think they increase the number of parameters for each version, right? There are two reasons why LLMs need many parameters. The first one is emergent properties, and the second one is language learning capability. So let's understand these two reasons, right? So language models have emergent properties. So in figure 2a, if you see the performance on arithmetic tasks, right? So you can see the accuracy has increased around 10 power of 22, right? And you can see the same figure in B and C and D. You can see it got increased around 10 power 22, the accuracy got increased, and same around here as well, 10 power 24 and 10 power 22, right? So for a huge range of tasks, language models show emergent properties. You can see the performance of the model is directly proportional to the size. So that is the reason why they increase the number of parameters for each version they released. That is, you may not see good performance with less parameters, but as we increase the parameters, we can see the increase in the accuracy as well, as you can see in these pictures as well, right? And the second reason why LLMs need more parameters is language learning capability, right? So that is, LLMs can do several tasks, for example, language translation or text summarization or sentiment analysis, right? So sentiment analysis means, for example, let's say if you're trying to sort the emails, you want to sort by spam versus not spam, right? So that is the sentiment. And we are just training the model to predict the next token, right? But how are the LLMs predicting the next token? The simplest way to learn how to predict the next token by an LLM is to learn the language itself. Okay, so that is how they are able to predict the next tokens. So the LLMs learn to understand the language itself. So in order to predict the next token, LLMs learn to understand the language itself. That is, when we trained the LLMs with a huge amount of data, LLMs understood the language itself. In order to understand the language, that means they understand the form, right? That is the grammatical construction and meaning of it. So learning a language is not an easy thing, right? That's why LLMs need more parameters. And there is another aspect called fine tuning, but we will come to that later. So two reasons why LLMs need many parameters. The first one is emergent properties and the second one is language learning capability. So as they increase the number of parameters, they saw the accuracy, and also the LLMs try to understand the language itself as they increase the parameters. Okay. And I want to cover one other topic here. LLMs are different than NLPs, that is natural language processors. NLP models were also capable of doing language translation or text summarization or grammar checking tasks, etc. But we needed a separate model for each of these tasks. That is, each task requires a separate model in order to perform the task. Whereas with LLMs, just one model which is trained to predict the next token is enough in order to perform all these various tasks. So we don't need a separate LLM in order to perform these tasks. So that is one of the difference between NLPs and LLMs. Now let's talk about another topic, that is LLM secret sauce, which is nothing but transformers, right? And attention all you need. So that is the research paper behind this. Okay. So this is the transformer architecture. So the major concept in the transformer architecture is the attention concept, right? Assume different words in a sentence and the words know what other words mean, which helps to understand the context better, right? That is, it helps to predict the next token better. Okay. So because of this transformer architecture, the LLMs are able to predict the next tokens. Now let's see what is the difference between AI versus machine learning versus deep learning versus GenAI versus LLM. So AI or machine learning, this is a broader space, right? And deep learning, the gradient descent or neural networks, etc. Generative AI means either vision or text models. Whereas LLMs, so LLMs are a subset of generative AI, which is a subset of deep learning and which is again a subset of machine learning, and the superset of all this is artificial intelligence. All right. Thank you.